Good morning, Coss. Thank you so much for coming over. Really appreciate your time. I started researching about you just an hour back, and I'm already a fan of yours and of ConBody. Your work is truly inspirational. But before I say something, I watched your TEDx talk, I watched your videos, I watched the interviews which you have taken of your clients. Uh, Tell us a bit about yourself. It should come from
Yeah,
your mouth. I can talk about it, but it won't make an impression. You should do it yourself.
yeah, no. So I'm the CEO and founder of ConBody, and ConBody was derived from my personal experience where I managed to lose over 70 pounds in 6 months in a prison cell. I helped over 20 inmates lose over 1,000 pounds combined. And the reason I went into prison was because I got involved with drugs at a very early age. At 13, I started dealing weed, and from there started escalating to coke and crack. And by the age of 19, I was making over $2 million a year. I was running a huge multi-million-dollar drug delivery service. And from there, it all ended at 23 years old, where I was sentenced to 7 years in prison. And and that's when I found out I had a lot of health issues. My cholesterol levels were through the roof. I was told by physicians and doctors that if I didn't start eating correctly or working out in prison, that I could probably die of a heart attack within 5 years. And that really woke me up to begin moving, really come up with a regimen that worked. And that's how I got into the world of fitness. And from there, I was like, this is what I want to do when I came home. And so I took that idea and started doing it in the streets of New York City.
Excellent, wonderful. You mentioned in a TED talk about your son. How's he doing now?
He's good. He's actually here. My son is, he's gonna be 14 now, going to high
Wow,
school. Yeah, so it's been a crazy journey just to see him, grow so fast. It's pretty insane.
very nice, excellent. Uh, you are definitely training a lot of. You mentioned that your in the TED talk. You mentioned your target segment is the woman in the yoga pants. And is that changing? Are you also trying to make other people healthy?
Absolutely. I mean, that was the first clients that were coming to my studio, but now, I mean, we have all types of different shapes, sizes. Usually it's a lot of young professionals coming in, both male, female. Um, but yeah, I mean, I try whoever wants to get healthy, we have a method that works. All you have to do is commit the time. I feel like a lot of fitness spaces tell you, you're gonna lose 30 pounds in 30 days and sell you this dream, and it's like, you just really got to dedicate time and do something. It doesn't matter if you're doing ConBody, if walking down the block, or you're doing some other fitness thing. At least you're doing something and keep active. But
Absolutely. So, how did you first choose that this is going to be my first target segment? How do you choose that?
my first target market.
Yeah, the women in the lady in the yoga pants.
So when I went into prison, it was a different neighborhood. I grew up in a very drug infested neighborhood, and now it's like a gallery, hipster, gentrified neighborhood. Uh, Totally different from when I went in. And when I came home, I got into fitness, but you started seeing women like jog around the neighborhood, and you just started seeing like people working out. And I'm like, this is not the neighborhood I like left when I went into prison. And I came home and I was like, wow, this is the people that I really want to, get involved with, because they're already working out. They want to do something, or they're trying to work out, and so I started promoting it to them first.
Interesting. Uh, Apart from becoming healthy physically, are you also trying to make people healthy mentally?
Absolutely. Especially the people that we hire. So the people that we hire have been all incarcerated. All my trainers have been in the system, and we all come out with mental health issues, no matter what. We live this traumatizing experience, and we need help, to overcome these issues, and we need to talk about it and be open about it. And so absolutely, that's something that we really work on.
What about your mental health? How did you heal yourself mentally?
I mean, therapy, therapy, meditation, and I always pretty much had a strong mindset. I'm always like, if I'm gonna do something, and if I'm gonna say that I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I was always, while in prison, it didn't deter, going in there didn't deter me or like make me depressed, but it made me angry. Angry at the fact that the system is unjust. That the system, um, I wanted to fight back the system. You know what I mean? And the way I did it was in a more positive way this time. Instead of like, yeah, let me go, fight an officer or do something negative that might, usually comes back to you in a negative outcome. I started protesting. I started, doing more advocacy work, trying to change the policies, talking to the officers, working with them, working with the local politicians to change stuff up. My brother actually became, the local politician in the neighborhood now. He's city council, which is a huge position down here. Um, yeah, I mean, it's been an
That's
incredible
fabulous. That's
journey.
fabulous. That's great. Let's talk about forgiveness, Cross. How did you forgive yourself?
I mean, I the mindset that I have is, if I can't control it, just let it be. And so forgiving myself, for what I've done that. And how I did it was just like internally talking to myself, talking to others as well. Um, I really believe on the serenity prayer. Um,
Wonderful.
and I feel like that really got me through different situations.
So a lot of people in the world, before we expect somebody else to forgive us, we have to forgive ourselves. So let's
Yep.
say the team which you are hiring, the ex-prisoners and the folks out there who are out of prison, how are they able to forgive themselves? How do you help your trainers forgive themselves?
We have to talk about it and be real about it, and tell people like these are the first steps. We have to accept that we had an issue and we had a problem. That we did something wrong. That the only person that could change anything moving forward is yourself. So a lot of the people that I've hired already made that decision. You know, they already made that decision that they want a better life. They want to change. When they come and interview me, and if they're still in that mentality, like I'm not gonna have them on board. I don't want you around. I don't want any negativity. You know.
Excellent. Oh, 1 second. Let me just write your name and your company name as well. So, mental blocks. How do you overcome people's mental blocks about their, let's say, body, about their mind, that they have reached this level of fitness and they are not able to go to the next level, they hit a plateau? How do you go to the next level in life, about your health, about your finances? How do you help people overcome mental blocks?
I mean, you got to tell them it's not going to happen right away. So if you think you're expecting any instant gratification, you feel like, all right, I'm gonna take this pill and I'm gonna look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like set small goals for yourself. Like I tell people, if you want to get into fitness and you're having a hard time, commit for 3 days. Saying I'm going to work out for 3 days. That's all. 20, 30 minutes, whatever. And then after those 3 days, all right, you're gonna commit yourself to 1 week, and then from that 1 week, you're gonna turn it into a month. And so, like, really try to reach those attainable goals, and don't say, all right, this is, the drastic goal that I'm gonna reach. I'm gonna, it doesn't happen like that. And people need to know that it takes a lot of baby steps. And I feel like a lot of people get deceived with so many like noise. There's a lot of noise out there, a lot of like media telling you this is the secret or this is the solution, and it's most of the time it's not true. You have to like and that's my tagline is just do the time. Just commit the time. That's all it takes. Take those baby steps and you'll reach the longest step.
Absolutely. Consistency, taking small steps and doing them consistently will give you great, massive results over time. Uh, Moving on, the journey has been fabulous. You've also been funded, I guess, and the people trusting you around the world. So you have clients just in the US or across the world?
No, across the world. So we have a virtual platform. People sign up for our monthly membership for $14 a month. And so you get a free trial if you want to check out our videos. We constantly put videos every week on the platform. Um, and I mean, it's simple. Some of it's simple, some of it's really hard. You could do 10-minute workout videos or 15, 20, 30, 45-minute workout videos. But I suggest anybody that's trying to get started, it might look hard, it might seem hard, but just try it.
Mhm.
A lot of people are like, come to me and it's like, no, I'm not ready for that. I need a workout before doing what you do. And I'm like, no, it's simple. Just try to keep up. If you can't do 10 burpees with me, do two, do three, do something. And as I move on to the next exercise, move on with me. But we have people tuning in from Australia to Hong Kong to, certain parts of Africa, all over Europe, Central America, Mexico. So, I mean, we've been fortunate enough to reach a global audience.
Excellent. That's a superb growth cost. You've also moved to e-commerce. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff on online platform with apparel stuff, and so if you want to like rock our gear, I got the ConBody tank top on, and so I've taken advantage of that side of the business because a lot of people want to represent, where they go, where they, what type of work they do. But they also want to like show that they're giving back to society in a certain way. They don't want to really support a big chain that's not doesn't really have a story. Yeah, it might look good, it might feel good, but at least we're doing something that's really good on the back end. The e-com business, I mean, it's been an easy lift for us. Not easy in terms of like getting everything started, but once we had it on control, like it's just been clockwork. Once we had a system in play, it's been easier to manage.
So you've been using Shopify?
Yep, we've been using Shopify, and that's what we use for our drop and ship.
So did you also try some other platform like Magento or BigCommerce or WooCommerce, or did you start your day one on Shopify?
No, so day one I started like myself. I had pictures on a platform. I had fill out a info, PayPal system, um, and it was difficult. I had to like once I got a notification, sometimes I had to run to the post office or UPS or FedEx, and like send the package out. And now we actually use Printful, which links to Shopify. And so it does all we could design it right on the platform. And you know, it's a simple push.
Absolutely. So you know what? Sometimes cost decades pass by and nothing happened, and sometimes decades happen in weeks and months. That's exactly what happened for e-commerce. I mean, the e-commerce industry has been pushed to at least 7 years in advance because of COVID. People are preferring to buy online ever before than they want to buy offline. So what's your plan on your e-commerce business? See how much effort, time, money you want to put into that business vis-a-vis your fitness work?
So we actually want to do a little bit more on that side. We want to outsource the material. We want to create the material. We want to design it. I want to hire more people coming out of the prison system to do this work. And so it gives us a platform to give more people opportunities. And so that's where we want to eventually take it. So yeah, I do want to invest a little bit of money on it. We're still keeping it simple right now for the time being. But that's a plan that we've been like outlining on our back end, with somebody that wants to get on board and run that part of the business.
Wonderful. Are you currently also thinking of opening offline stores?
You mean like in-person
Brick and
commercial?
mortar. Yeah, brick and mortar
Yeah,
stores. Yeah.
yeah. And so we have an opportunity to open up a space in Harlem, and so that's something that we're looking to open up, where we have the studio, we have the shop. We want to create a space where people can make the material there. So yeah, I don't think retail's dead, and I actually think it's been picking up, since the pandemic, and people are like tired of being home. I feel like people want to be out there and want to just have the shopping experience, and so that's something that we're working on, and that's something that I feel like will take off. It would never be like ecom, but it's an opportunity that's there, and I feel like if we have the real estate or any type of space, why not put a t-shirt up, that's only going to take less than a square footage up, to create more revenue for the business.
Absolutely, absolutely. So e-commerce is growing a lot, and of course, you definitely want to spend some time and money there. That's a great thing because that can actually become a billion-dollar business before you even think it will become a billion-dollar business. Uh, Coming back to your fitness, uh, how do you plan to expand that in next 3 years? So you started this ConBody Live, where somebody can choose the ex inmate anytime and start working out with him or her. What else are you planning to do to in the next 3 years to grow your business?
Yeah, once we have the running that smoothly, the online platform, it's running pretty smoothly right now, but I feel like we haven't approached big corporations as much, and that's something that we want to start doing, is like do more B2B sales. So we're going into bigger businesses, telling them that we could supplement their exercise program through our platform. So if you have maybe 1,000 employees in your company, like, this is a great way to subsidize their workout. This is how we could do it for you. And so that's something that we've been talking and doing with other corporations right now. In 3 years, I definitely want to start looking into like licensing, franchising, maybe looking at like a Zumba type of model, like getting people that want to get certified, or people that want to open up their own ConBody location in, I don't know, London or something like that. And that's something that we've been getting reached out for. Like, I've gotten over 70 franchise requests, in the last few years, and people want to open up their own ConBody space. And so I haven't taken advantage of that because it becomes a long, extensive process. It's, every state, every city has their own legal, criteria into franchising. So it's not an easy process. But once I have the infrastructure built, I feel like it'll be an easier push.
Mhm. Very interesting. That's a super plan, way to go. Your investors, how are they helping you apart from the money?
I mean, I get a lot of guidance from my investors. Some people give me money and just go, and they see their money grow. But some people like really work hand in hand with me. I have somebody that's been working with me for 4 years, and they've been like helping me manage the finance, or consulting me on like accounting or taxes or tax breaks. Um, or just simple strategic stuff. I have somebody that's helping me with marketing. And so I mean, every different investor has their own skill set, and I try to like maximize my time with them. With the skill set that they have. I have an investor that, you know, managed like the biggest hotel, you know, MGM Grand. And we're talking about bringing our workout videos into the hotel rooms, you know, and doing that stuff. And so
Wonderful.
he's been schooling me and teaching me like what the whole process is, you know, what, you know, how do we get started with that side of the business? But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Fabulous, fabulous. Great plans and B2B hotel rooms, going to corporates. There's some great stuff you on cards. Excellent cost. So, have you ever thought of putting your business on autopilot, making ConBody run without costs?
yeah, I mean, I feel like it pretty much runs the exercise classes and all that stuff. I only teach twice a week. But I teach because I love to teach, and I don't know, I just have a passion to get in front of people, and it's fun, and I like pushing myself and working out with people. So the business pretty much runs by itself. Yeah, I mean, but I like to be hands on, you know, in terms of like, uh, you know, correspondence with emails and stuff like that. Like I'm on there, you know, like I got to get it done, you know, or like I feel like the social media marketing side of the business, I'm the one that's really pushing it and putting my face out there. So yeah, it's hard to run it without me, you know, but I don't know. I think my team does a pretty good job with spreading the word and doing a lot of guerrilla marketing on the street.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Because not every inmate want to come back to the streets and get into fitness. Some people do not want to do fitness, but let's say somebody want to teach finance or do something else. What advice would you give to people who do not want to come to fitness after they have done their time?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there's not a lot of opportunities out there, and it's not going to be easy. But if you want to start like your own financial consulting business, like, you know, start it on the side. I didn't start, you know, just doing classes, you know, that like, yeah, that was the first thing I did. But on the side, I was like cleaning apartments. Or, you know, if anybody asked me like to load a truck up and I'll make 20, $30, like I'm gonna do that. You know, like, oh, I always had a side hustle that kept me going because, you know, the first, you know, business that you want to create, you need money, you know, and you need to survive and you need to eat. And if you only like, you know, dedicate your time and energy in that space, like it's going to be difficult, you know, to, you know, not feel frustrated when things don't, you know, when you don't have any money. And so I did a lot of different I sold t-shirts in the street. I, you know, got on the train and did whatever, you know, like I just made it happen. Um, but I advise people to always have something on the side. You know,
Excellent.
entrepreneurship is not a guarantee.
100%, 100%. Absolutely agree with you. Cos, what's your biggest strength?
My biggest strength, I think, is dedication. Um, I just put my mind to something and I'm gonna do it. You know, when I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna figure it out. And I'm gonna, even though if is a difficult puzzle to fix, or um, you know, whether I have to like run from here to LA, you know, on foot, like if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You know, I actually ran the New York City Marathon, um, and it hurt, and I didn't even train, but I said I was going to do it, and I did it, you know, and I barely trained for it. I basically was running every, you know, when I had a chance or whatever, but you know, things like that, I'm just like really dedicated to putting my mindset into something, and I feel like I got a lot of that through my mom. You know, she always had a strong mindset of working and putting her head down and not talking much and just making things happen.
Wonderful, wonderful, great stuff. One of your one more strength which I just figured out is that authenticity. You're very authentic. You don't make, you don't fake, you don't make up things, and your authentic message, your real message is what helps people to connect with you. Keep it real, keep it authentic always. So how do you keep your team motivated always?
I always just have a mindset that everything's going to work out, you know. Even when, you know, when I was starting the business and my bank account was negative, you know, whatever, $1,000, $2,000, and I'm like, how the hell am I going to pay, you know, my trainer, you know, because I'm burning cash. Like, I just always had this mindset, like, if I trust the process and continue doing it, you know, that everything was going to work out. And that's the mindset that I always like. I'm just very optimistic, and that's, I always think that the glass is always half full, you know. And
Wonderful,
yeah,
excellent. It appears I'm talking to myself. Whatever you're saying, I'm able to resonate very well. Being so, no business is good or bad. If you give you 100%, if you keep hustling, if you keep moving forward, if you keep elbowing, it got to work. There's no option for it not to work. It's any business. If you're giving you 100% and keep hustling, it will move forward. Excellent. Thank you very much, Coss. One last advice before we close the interview you want to give to people who are coming out of cells?
I mean, just come home and take advantage of anything that's positive. You know, I came home and I didn't have a lot of opportunities, but I started researching like what nonprofit organizations were out there, you know, doing criminal justice work. You know, some of them like gave me a free Metro card. You know, some of them gave me free clothes. Some of them gave me food. You know, so I was not ashamed of asking. You know, and I feel like when you're like out of prison and you have so many responsibilities in terms of family and stuff like that, you feel like you don't need help, you're going to figure it out. But I really took advantage of everything that was out there and just like was not ashamed, you know, and said like I'm in this situation temporarily and I'm going to get out of it.
Wonderful, Coss. Thank you so much. So, Coss is saying when you're out, guys, look at what is positive. If you focus on positive, you get more positive. If you focus on negative, you get more negative. Trash your ego. The second message which he gave: trash your ego and take advantage of whatever you can. Involve yourself in positive things and be positive and look out for things which will work for you. Those are some great tips, Coss. Really appreciate your time in this morning. Thank you so much, and we'll post this video on different social media and bring out the message for you. Thank you very
Thank
much. Take care of yourself.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thanks. Bye bye.